For the first minute of this guide, I want you to stay with me, because what we're talking about today is something most modern growers have completely abandoned, despite the fact that it powered farms, homesteads, kitchen gardens and victory gardens for generations. This wasn't a store-bought fertilizer. It wasn't a complicated brew. It wasn't created in a lab, and it didn't require a single brand label. It was a simple, dependable, almost ritualistic tonic our grandparents relied on whenever they needed fast recovery, vigorous green growth, or a way to revive tired soil. Yet, in the rush toward bottled fertilizers and quick-fix pellets, this tonic quietly disappeared from everyday use. Only the older farmers still whisper about it. It's not flashy, and it doesn't look special. But in practice, it works with a level of force that modern products try to imitate, but rarely match. What we're talking about is ferment runoff, the liquid produced when natural materials break down in water. Today, it's often called compost tea, manure tea, or plant tonic, but older generations simply called it the brew. They knew exactly when to use it: after transplant shock, before heavy fruiting, during mid-season stall-outs, or when a crop needed a quick rescue. And the reason it worked so reliably is deeply rooted in history. The tonic works because it uses decomposition in its earliest, most nutrient-rich stage. To understand why this tonic was so powerful, you need to understand what happens when natural materials soak in water. Instead of waiting for compost or manure to finish breaking down, our grandparents captured the nutrients that leach out immediately. This early-stage liquid contains fast-releasing nitrogen, soluble minerals, natural enzymes, beneficial bacteria, and organic acids. These are forms that plants absorb almost instantly. The old farmers often soaked well-rotted manure weeds or leftover greens in barrels of water. Not for days, but for weeks. The water turned dark and strong, and, well, the scent alone told you it was ready. This was liquid gold for crops needing a jolt of life. To replicate this today, fill a bucket halfway with mature compost, chopped weeds, or animal manure from herbivores such as goats, cows, rabbits, or chickens. Cover the material with water, leave it loosely covered, and let it sit for at least 2 weeks. Stir it occasionally if you want, but even if you don't, the brew forms on its own. When it's dark and earthy smelling, it's ready for dilution. The tonic delivers explosive growth because it bypasses the slow mineralization process. You know, modern fertilizers, they rely on chemically isolated nutrients, while compost depends on long-term decomposition. But this tonic, well, it sits in the middle. It's organic, yet immediately available. That combination, honestly, is what gives it such dramatic results. When you pour diluted tonic onto soil, the microbial load hits the ground first. Those microbes attach to root tips, converting nutrients in the soil faster. The soluble nutrients in the tonic itself enter the root zone right away. This creates a two-stage effect: instant feeding, followed by long-term improvement. That's why older farmers used it during emergencies, such as when a crop was lagging behind or when the rains came late. If you want to apply it effectively, just dilute the tonic until it looks like weak coffee. Too strong, and it can overwhelm seedlings. But just right, and plants respond within days. Apply around the base of plants once every 1 to 2 weeks, especially during periods of rapid growth. The tonic repairs soil biology in ways synthetic products simply cannot match. What really fascinated me when I revisited this old method was how differently the soil behaved afterward. This tonic doesn't just feed plants, it actually feeds the soil itself. The microbes within it colonize the top layer of soil, breaking down organic matter more aggressively. Worms respond quickly as well, moving toward the enriched zone because the microbial activity signals food availability. Over time, the structure of the soil shifts from tight, dull and compacted to dark, loose and sponge-like. This is what our grandparents understood without ever using modern soil science terminology. They saw the land respond in texture, smell and resilience. Their soil didn't just grow crops, it bounced back faster after stress. You can test this yourself by applying tonic to one half of a garden bed and leaving the other untreated. Over a month, you'll see richer soil on the treated side. That difference becomes even clearer during dry spells, when tonic-treated soil holds moisture longer and resists crusting. Grandparents didn't use this tonic alone. They paired it with mulch, buried food scraps, or layers of straw and leaves. The tonic activated those materials, accelerating their breakdown and transforming them into deeper fertility. To apply this today, just add a mulch layer of leaves, straw, grass clippings, or even shredded plants before you go ahead and apply the tonic. As the liquid seeps through, it infuses the mulch with microbes and soluble nutrients. This, in turn, creates a slow-release system that can, feed your plants for weeks. If you want an even stronger version for heavy feeders like tomatoes and corn, soak a handful of comfrey leaves or nettles in the brew. These plants naturally contain high levels of potassium and minerals, and, they intensify the tonic's effect dramatically. By the third application, I began noticing sharper leaf colour, stronger stems, and faster regrowth. Plants that had been stalling began pushing out new shoots. Soil that had once been tired felt alive again. The effect reminded me why older generations leaned so heavily on this simple practice. It wasn't expensive, it wasn't complicated, but it worked every time. This tonic is more than a recipe. It's a reminder that older agricultural wisdom often holds answers we've overlooked. Modern growers chase efficiency and convenience, but sometimes the most reliable solutions are the ones buried in history. If you found value in this guide and want more time-tested methods rooted in real survival farming and historical knowledge, subscribe to Hydro Haven and share this video with other growers. Keeping these techniques alive is just as important as using them.